all get started. We've already done the invocation and pledge of allegiance, approval of the minutes of the previous meeting.
Motion to approve.
Second.
And approval of the agenda.
It's ready for your approval, Mr. Chairman.
We have no presentations and no consent agenda, so we'll go right into the debate agenda. Mr. Slachter.
Thank you, sir. First, I have two here that are encroachment agreements. The first one is for 820 Audubon Way. They are looking to put a retaining wall on the side property line, maximum height of 4 feet, but it is inside of our 5-foot drainage easement. So they're asking to approve this encroachment agreement. Staff is recommending approval.
Move to consent.
Second.
Next one I have for you is an encroachment agreement for 870 Audubon Way. They are doing a retaining wall as well, 4 feet 6 inches in height along the side property line that's in our 20-foot drainage utility easement. Staff is recommending approval of this one as well.
Move to consent.
Second.
Moved. Gordon.
Morning.
Morning.
The first item I have for you today is replacement of UV bulbs at 3 of our wastewater treatment plants. This is an annual maintenance program we do. The UV bulbs disinfect the water leaving the plant so we can meet EPD requirements. And staff recommends approval of $61,681.50 to purchase and replace the disinfection bulbs at 3 of our wastewater treatment plants.
How many bulbs do we buy?
I'm not sure how many it is exactly.
150.
A lot.
Yeah.
150, yes. For
400 a piece
$61,000
is what the...
Mercy.
Yeah, that's right. Quantity is 150 in here.
Move to consent.
Second.
The second item I have for you this morning is repair of a bar screen at the Reed Creek Wastewater Treatment Plant. As we do our preventative maintenance, we've recognized this is a screen we've had for many years now, and it's in need of quite a bit of repair. We use this screen to protect our downstream equipment. All kind of solids, different things come into the plant. You can imagine what people flush down the toilet, from teddy bears to everything. So it catches all that equipment, puts it in a dumpster to keep it from getting bound up in pumps and aerators and those kind of things, and it's starting to fail, and we need to do some preventive maintenance. We did budget for this item, and it is an OEM item, so we do have to go to the manufacturer to get them to repair it, but the repair cost for this equipment is $90,886.98, and staff recommends approval.
Move to consent.
Second.
The next item I have is we bid out a compact track carrier, and the low bidder is Vermeer Southeast. We budgeted $65,000 for this, and the bid came in at $48,097. This is a small piece of equipment where we can get in people's backyards and tight to fit spaces. If we have to remove unsuitable soils, it can carry those out instead of using like mechanical dumpsters. It gives us a little more horsepower and efficiency getting those things out. It is a new piece of equipment, so this will be a new purchase, but we did budget for this item, and staff recommends approval.
Move to consent.
Second.
The next item I have is I want to reject the bid for the 3 30 kW generators. We put out a spec for this. We only got one bidder. The bidder did not meet the specs. We were called in our spec for a 7,000 pound axle, which is usually 3500. It's a dual axle. And what they gave us in the bid was a 6,000 pound single axle, and we call out a light package we use for just help with lighting when we're doing maintenance, and there's some signal lighting and stuff on the trailer also, and they did not provide that in the package, so we want to reject it and rebid this item. Staff recommends approval.
Move to consent.
Second.
And the last item I have is a bid for our Uchee Creek force main. This is one of the 2 major projects we've been working on to get additional sewer in the Harlem area. This project did bid quite a bit higher than we expected, but we feel like we can move some money around and make it happen because it is an important project. We do need to move forward with it. Gehrig Civil Works was our low bidder at $17,097,998.89. Excuse me. And staff recommends award of the bid to Gehrig Civil Works.
Estimated time of completion.
I believe it was, Nathan, do you remember, it's 22 months? 18 months.
Motion to move that to debate since it's.
Second.
So moved. Titus.
Morning. The first item we have for you is construction agreement with Reeves Construction for TIA 2 Group 4 resurfacing. This is to resurface Baker Place Road, Brown Circle, G.R. Tucker, Louisville Road, Old Union Road, and Sugar Creek Drive. There's one caveat. Baker Place is from William Few to I-20. Since received the bids, as you see, coming under budget and requested a change order to resurface from I-20 all the way to Wrightsville Road. So sure it's going to fall within budget. So that's not included in this. We'll bring that back to you at a later date. But for this contract, we advertised, received 2 bids. Reeves came in at the lowest at $3,054,341.90. They'll have 180 days from issuance of notice to proceed. Staff recommends approval.
Second.
This next item is an independent contractor agreement with Rhythm Engineering for in-sync coverage plan and warranty. This is our annual service plan with in-sync, our vendor that provides adaptive signal technology, the software and support services. This would be $49,500 for this next year through October 31st of 2025 to be funded out of the Insurance Premium Tax Fund. Staff recommends approval.
Second.
And this final item is a request to reject bid for the rehabilitation of multiple roads on Fort Eisenhower. This is through our established IGSA, or Intergovernmental Support Agreement with the U.S. government. Fort Eisenhower reached out to us to advertise and procure the resurfacing and rehab of about 10 roads on base. The bids came in, they were too high, they were beyond the Fort's approved funding. They requested that we break up the roads into smaller packages. We advised them that'd be a conflict of how the project was bid, so they requested that we reject the bids and come back at a later date to re-advertise in smaller groups. So staff recommends approval of the rejection of this bid.
Second.
Mr. Titus, could you give us kind of a rundown on why traffic seems to be so bad at the moment?
Sure, absolutely. So immediately following the hurricane, all 83 signals went down. Within a few days' time, a week, we had all but 2 back up and running. The 2 that were not up and running had to be completely reconstructed, and they were done within a week later. Still, with all the signals up and running, the primary device that activates green, red, yellow signal timing is the detection. So you have 2 types of detection. You have one physical detection in the road, and the other is the camera detection, which actually observes and counts vehicles. All the cameras were shifted, thrown off, broken. They've all since been replaced, but now staff is having to go back in and actually redraw the actual detection zone. So even though the signals are operating, they're not detecting properly yet. And since they work in corridors aren't talking to each other appropriately yet. So we're going through each signal based on the volume, whatever signal pushes the most volume every day. That's where we're starting, and we're moving down the corridor. So it'll take a while. I've been working with staff. He's also working with our vendor Rhythm, who we just had their contract approved to consent. But we're working heavily. We're working really hard to get all the signals back in line and all the detection corrected so that we can be up and running. talked to staff, and they're estimating it'll be a few more weeks, but we're confident we can have everything up and running back to pre-hurricane conditions prior to Thanksgiving is the goal.
Matters?
Yes, sir. I have the year-to-date budget report and water and sewer construction projects report for your review and prepared to answer any questions. The UV project, we had a walkthrough on it to look at, they had a punch list for construction, and we had the walkthrough last week. Still a few items they need to finish, but we do have Jim Blanchard up and running right now, so we're testing it for a couple weeks to see if we can give them substantial completion.
Very good. And just a compliment for how well you prepared for the storm, how we never lost water. Lost all the utilities except for water. So thank you and congratulations, good work.
Yes, sir. Thanks.
So we have the roadway projects report and the roadway resurfacing report for your review. Just a quick update. All the major roadway projects that were under construction were delayed about 2 weeks, but they're all back moving forward again. Roadway resurfacing projects and contracts, most of those are on hold until all the debris is removed right away. But as soon as it's removed and the temperatures are suitable, we'll start paving again.
Questions?
Just a compliment too. I mean, staff did a fantastic job getting out. Never seen a storm like this. So thank you.
They're really, really proud of our roads and bridges, traffic, stormwater teams, but I'll be sure to share.
Commissioners, got any questions, remarks? Okay.
I'll move make a motion to move the executive session item to the full.
Second.
So moved. Sure.